Today's talk is about China and its role in increasing the share of solar photovoltaics or solar energy technology across the globe. According to the data provided by the World Resource Institute, China is one of the world's largest emitter of greenhouse gases, followed by the countries like United States, European Union, all of the 28 countries, India, Russia, Japan, Brazil, Indonesia, Canada, and Mexico. These are all the countries that are one of the largest greenhouse gas emitters in the world. The country of China signed the Paris Climate Agreement on 22nd of April 2016, which was ratified, accepted, and approved on 3rd of September 2016, and finally came into force on 4th of November 2016. It is the data that has been provided by the UN Treaty Collection. A key goal of the Paris Climate Agreement is to keep the global average temperature rise to well below 2 degrees Celsius and actually to put in efforts to limit the increase in global average temperature to 1.5 degrees Celsius. Since China is the largest emitter of greenhouse gases, a big responsibility lies on the shoulders of China, which the political administration and the governing body of China realize and is certainly taking mitigative actions to ensure its positive role when it comes to mitigating climate change. A key way China is doing is to increase the share of clean energy in the overall power generation sector in China. When it comes to the installed solar PV capacity, that is the main topic of this talk. By the end of year 2016, it had an cumulative installed solar PV capacity or solar energy capacity of 77.42 gigawatts. It is interesting to mention that out of this cumulative 77.42 gigawatts of installed solar capacity, 34.54 gigawatts was actually added in the year 2016. China further plans to upscale the installed solar capacity to 110 gigawatts by year 2020, out of which 105 gigawatts would be the solar photovoltaics and the remaining 5 gigawatts would be the concentrating solar power. If we would examine the amount of financial resources the Chinese administration has poured into this direction to increase the share of solar energy or to increase the share of clean energy in the overall power generation sector in China, we would be really happy to know that in year 2005, China basically invested $7.5 billion in the clean energy sector, which was then increased to $24.5 billion in year 2008, followed by $60.1 billion of investment in year 2012, which was then increased to $85.3 billion in year 2014. Finally, China invested $101.2 billion US dollars in clean energy sector in year 2015. We would again be happy to know that China is further planning to invest another 292 billion pounds to increase the renewable power sector, to increase the share of renewable energy in the overall energy mix of China by year 2020. According to the International Energy Agency, China is basically responsible for the 40% of the overall growth that is happening in the sector of clean energy at the global level. By year 2022, all of the progress or growth that would take place in the sector of clean energy, India, China, and US would basically represent 2/3 of the total growth or cumulative growth that would take place across the global level. Now, one of the main reasons I've chosen this topic today and the country of China today is that it basically gives us hope that renewable energy is basically the technology of is a present era technology as well as the technology that would help us in achieving our goals when it comes to the sustainable development goals and achieving a world that would be sustainable to live in for us and our coming generations. Clean energy technology, expansion of clean energy technology, and a swift transition to 100% clean sources of power production is a key to achieve that. Secondly, reliance on clean sources of power production is the sure and the safest way to ensure energy independence for any country. And last but not the least, we only have one planet. It is basically this planet that we rely on when it comes to meeting our requirements in order to sustain life. It is basically this planet that we have. We've only got one planet for us and our coming generations, and since we live in this planet, we have attain so much of the benefits from ecosystem products and services, it is our primary responsibility to take care of Mother Nature and to do whatever it takes to make it sure that we and our coming generation would be able to live in a world that would be socially equitable, economically viable, and environmentally sustainable for us and our coming generation. Finally, I would like to close this talk with the message that it was really impressive that China installed 34.54 gigawatts of solar energy in 2016. If the political administration of China would keep on repeating this pattern for coming 20 years, it would mean that the administration would add around over 680 gigawatts of solar energy to the overall energy mix in China. It would again be an unprecedented example set by the political administration that would be there for the rest of the world to follow. Hope is everything we have. Hope is the thing that has led us to the world that we can see today. And hope will certainly enable us to create a world that would be sustainable, powered by 100% clean sources of power production by 2050. Thank you for your time and energy, and have a wonderful day.